My plan all along was to go to college and work in the finance world. And I graduated college and worked in the professional world for about a year and a half after college in Fort Collins. And all I'd think about were the mountains, fishing and skiing and everything else. So after a while, I realized that I don't want to be in the professional world. I want to be here in the mountains doing what I love, chasing fish. Fly fishing is one of the reasons that I moved here to the Aspen Valley and gave up any career hopes that I had to come out here and be a trout bum, ski bum, live the life of a trout fisherman. And when I first moved here, I was a raft guide, which was cool because I learned the rivers. I learned a lot about rowing a boat and just, the power and the respect that the river commands. So it was really good, but I never really fit in with that group. I always, enjoyed being in a boat on the river, but if I didn't have a fly rod in my hand, I was always wondering, whoa, does that spot over there have a fish in it? Ooh, that looks like a good spot there. Oh, look at these caddis hatching. Ooh, what kind of caddis are those? So all this stuff that relates to fishing. Definitely, there's tons of those guys in the river. If you look on my hand here, these are all midge larvae. My dad was a big fly fisherman, and he got me into it when I was real young. But I grew up in Louisiana where there's no trout. Fly fishing is really, it was invented for trout, and that's kind of really what it's made for. It's made to imitate insects. It's the best way to imitate insects in a river. However, fly fishing has become much bigger, and it's spilled over to other species too. In Louisiana, there's no trout. There's known for bass and saltwater fishing. So we started when I was 4 or 6 years old. My dad got me out we had a pond in Baton Rouge where I'm from. And he got me out there before I can remember casting a fly rod. Another big part of my life was my mom's brother moved to the Aspen Valley here in 1972, and he's been here ever since. So we come out here for the summers as a kid, and I would fish some too. My mom took us on some guided trips, and had some really cool fishing experiences, and it was, so it's always kind of been a part of me ever since I was little. And again, my dad's a big fly fisherman. He would spend, a month, 1 to 2 months a year, mostly in Montana in the summers, trout fishing. And it's always been part of my life. It's the challenge. It's not something easy. You can spend a whole lifetime learning just about fly fishing for trout. I like to say there's 2 lifetimes of learning. There's just always something to learn. It's a constantly changing, dynamic environment. It's trying to figure out, it's like a big puzzle, and you're trying to figure it out, and it's not always easy. Try to figure out what the fish are doing. What are they eating? Are they eating? Where are they in the river? Because they'll move around. Yeah. You know, why are they in these certain areas? And there's different food sources, the aquatic insects, that behave differently. And yeah, if it's one thing, it's the constant, it's the challenge of trying to figure it out.
It's all about getting those flies to be floating the same speed as the current for as long as possible. The longer it's in there, even if it's an extra second, that increases your chances. I need practice netting them. Netting them on the run. Shouldn't let you do it. So David's method, and it's hard to even explain.
You can be very creative tying flies. You can basically, the sky's the limit on what you can do, and you can totally create your own flies with your own colors. This is all dubbing. I like purple a lot. Not a very super popular trout color, but I like it. You can it's kind of like cooking. You take your own recipe, or you know, you can take someone else's recipe and kind of make it your own. Substitute ingredients, materials, add weight, you know, change up a few things and make it your own. You want some dubbins? Some dubbing? What color do you want?
Some red.
You want, that's not red, that's purple.
Purple.
You want the purple?
That's dubbing loop.
No, not a dubbing loop, it's dubbing. This is dubbing. This is a dubbing loop. You put stuff in there. So this is his first real fly. I mean, I helped him out, but he picked everything out, and believe it or not, that would probably catch some fish.